is up, everybody? This is Brent Brookhouse here with the hottest free agent in wrestling, Ethan Page. This is the Bitter Boys Club. It's our post-Christmas spectacular. It's spectacular, man.
It better be. We haven't even recorded it yet. You're kind of making promises.
Well, I trust in us to deliver here.
Look at you. That's good. I trust us too, I guess.
Yeah, we have a little bit less than the usual starting section where you cover your week because you've been on your little mini staycation. I think yesterday was your first show in over a week, right?
Yeah. So, what are we going to talk about? What I ate?
What did you eat?
Oh man, this is not good. So, when we recorded this last week, I had already started my vacation at home, which is why I was making jokes about how I was too drunk to record the night before, so we did it Thursday morning, which is not the reason we're recording it this one Thursday morning, is because I wrestled last night. We'll get to that part, though. So, from last Wednesday till about Christmas was what, Monday?
Yeah.
So Tuesday was the first day I was back on my ketogenic diet, which is all fats and proteins, essentially. So for just under a week, I ate like a degenerate fat ass.
Yeah, well, if it's just a few days once a year, that's not too bad.
Well, I mean, this year it wasn't just a few days, but it was honestly so fun to not care and to I'm not a big beer drinker, but I enjoy a nice beverage, and it was cool just to have a fridge full of beer, fridge full of I don't know, a spoonful of Nutella, to order a pizza whenever, have Chinese food. If I wanted a sandwich, I could make a sandwich. It was just I don't know, fun to just do whatever.
Yeah, live like a normal human.
I guess so, yeah, to a degree. I get a lot of joy out of the simplest things, and we were just watching movies pretty much every night, my wife and I, because she's peak pregnancy right now, can barely do anything. Not that she's incapable of doing anything. I'm just saying she's feeling rough right now. So we would just lounge about and make food, and I would just make sandwiches pretty much every night, or just eat peanut butter right out of the jar. And I think I ate about 5 pizzas. Had a Christmas party. There was party pizza. Had some buddies over for the gift exchange. There was pizza there. So just being a fat ass.
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with that. When is the baby due, by the way?
Supposedly early February, but everyone is thinking it's going to come a little early, which I would love that.
What is how do you handle that? Are you just keeping your bookings like normal, or do you have time blocked off?
Man, so I blocked off the actual due date a week before and a week within a week, but it's tough because the week before I have freelance in Chicago, and it's can I make it? I don't know, and we're totally gonna have to wait and find out, and it's the only income we have right now until, I guess, what is it that I call not baby bonus, but maternity leave. Yeah. Maternity leave, yeah. So, luckily Canada's awesome, and she'll be able to have a full year off. So that's cool.
Wild.
Isn't it?
It's amazing and great.
Yeah, so she'll have a year off, which is awesome, but that doesn't start coming in until she stops working, which I don't think she doesn't want to stop until the middle of January, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think she's going back to work. We'll see. But yeah, so I have to go to these shows. Well, not that I have to, but I mean, we got to keep money flowing into the household. So I haven't fully canceled anything. It's just been upfront and honest with everyone, saying like, hey, my kid could be born on this day. I might be at your show. I might not be. Don't put me in anything extravagant. I will still promote your show, even if I know for a fact I'm not coming. Just like, I don't mind putting out the effort of helping to bring eyes to their show if they're willing to at least give me an opportunity to still show up.
Right on, that makes sense.
Yeah, I just figured if you're good to them, they'll be good to you. Keep it pretty simple.
Right. So the speaking of good to the others and good to you, so Christmas went good?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I'm currently staring at a awesome cable bust that my wife got me for Christmas that I'm madly in love with. It's on the desk. So every week when we record, I'll be staring at it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the big list, Christmas list item was wireless headphones, and my wife hooked me up with the best on the market.
Nice.
So I'm pumped. Got to rock those at the gym yesterday. It's a game changer. Not dropping your phone because the cord is still hooked up to it, or
yeah,
makes life easier.
Absolutely.
That Bluetooth technology.
Right on. So where were you working last night?
Whoa! Why are we only talking about me?
Oh man, Christmas was great.
Yeah, you have a kid.
Yeah, I have a kid that has like, we have to get rid of like most of the toys she has now because she got like a room and a half worth of toys.
Oh,
so
that's so spoiled a little bit.
Yeah, it's more the grandparents. Like grandparents go like
sure.
so crazy overboard. We got her a good amount of stuff, and but it's always with like space in mind, and they're like, here, have a gigantic dollhouse and like a ton of like huge things. And it's like, my kid already has this big like kitchen in her room that she loves to play with, and it's like, I don't have endless space for toys, but I don't know, it's been kind of a good thing to teach her over the past couple of years that like, when you get something, you give something up and give it to kids in need, and it's kind of become like an after Christmas tradition that she's actually super into now. So
that's actually very cool.
Yeah, so that's nice. We kind of had been debating figuring out something that we could collect as a family, so we got into the Funko Pop things.
Oh no.
Yeah, just it. No matter what she's into, there's going to be something, and I can get a ton of comic stuff. So pretty much maxed out on the Guardians 2 set. And
that's a good one.
Yeah,
I've got a couple of those.
Yeah, so that's the direction we decided to go in, because it's not going to risk being something that she like. Right now, it's Disney princesses and comic book stuff because of me, but. As things change, it's easy to just add a different thing. So yeah, man,
that's pretty smart, and they're not that expensive.
Yeah, that's the other nice thing. Like the couple Guardians 2 things that I hadn't gotten, Amazon had a bunch of them as like add-on items for like.
Those are my favorite.
$2 or $3, $4.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, so that was nice. But yeah, man, ate ton of prime rib on Christmas Eve. Ate a bunch of. We're still eating a bunch of ham from Christmas. Like it's real good. So now
food. Yeah. I'm sorry. Got my mouth watering now.
So where did you work last night?
So last night I wrestled in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, and it was a food drive wrestling event, and without a doubt, I was the biggest star on the event and I don't mean this as a knock on anybody, by a long stretch, and I didn't realize that until I got there. A friend of mine is the one that was actually hosting it, so it was more of like a favor for him, and if I have a chance to sell merch, I'm going to be there. So I made a couple bucks. got to sell a little bit of merch, got to watch pretty much an entire academy from my hometown wrestle, because it was 9 matches, and I think I was one of 3 people that was wrestling more than 2 years.
Wow.
So it was cool to see a bunch of young people. It was interesting to see who would debate advice or just graciously take it. And I was just having a blast messing with everyone, telling kids that the other curtain was the entranceway instead of where the actual entranceway was. There was no microphone, so the ring announcer just stood in the ring and yelled. There was no music. They had to break into a dance studio in the same building to take their boombox and played music from that.
All right.
It was a regular independent wrestling experience.
Yeah, that's more of the old school indie experience.
Yeah, so there was kids there that, I say kids, they're probably the same age as me, but they haven't been wrestling long. So there was people there on the show that were a little upset, and I thought it was hilarious because this has happened to me a million times. So I was like, yeah, man, who cares? You don't need music. Just go out there. No, you don't need your name announced. Just go out there. There was a ring bell. Thank God it came with the ring, but so at least people knew when the matches were supposed to start. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the entrance, I don't know. I've seen a lot of that with guys getting way too hung up on their entrance when, yeah, it can set a little bit of a tone. It can kind of establish your character, just walking out, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
No, and who cares? This is one match. This is not your whole career. So just laugh it off, go out there, perform on a Wednesday night in front of 45 people, and go home.
Yeah, no harm done. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's... And, good cause, so...
They did actually collect a lot of food. There was I want to say 2 or 3 full folding tables stacked up like pyramids. So at least the cause was just, and I got to sell merch. So I got to warm up before the weekend coming, which was big for me, just to get my stuff on, get in the ring, feel, I haven't been in a ring in over a week and a bit, and I'm fat as hell right now. So, just there's an adjustment period.
How long does it take before you feel rusty? Is it?
Oh no, that was a joke. I was just trying to get to the fact that I felt fat. I think I've gone 2 weeks is the most. So I'm not 100% sure. I think you probably feel rusty after a couple months.
Yeah, I would think so. I was just curious if you're used to working 2 to 4 times a week. If you take a week off, if you feel like you're kind of missing a beat.
Yeah, and even then, people say, it's like riding a bike. I mean, I could see that. Jimmy Jacobs, he was gone for how many years? 2 years?
At least.
Yeah, and he came back, and I think he said he went to Amazing Red School twice, and he was having 20-minute matches by the following month. So,
yeah, guess that's true.
I think if you do it long, I don't ride a bike,
right?
But I'm sure, I probably haven't ridden a bike in 2 years, 3 years. If I got on one now, I wouldn't feel weird. I would just start pedaling.
I will say the last time I rode a bike, it had been a very long time in between, and it was not as simple as just hopping on and feeling like, oh yeah, I do this.
Yeah.
It was fucking awkward. Okay. So yeah, we don't have as much to talk about in terms of your last week, but we do have a ton of questions.
Oh, before we get there, I wanted to talk about something last week, but I totally forgot.
Shoot.
I'm gonna have to, because this really pissed me off. So I tweeted something I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was about PWG. A fan tweeted, "When are we going to get you back to PWG?" And I was like, okay, I'm going to be in California on this date and this date within like 2 weeks, pretty much. I did PCW Ultra, and then I did bar wrestling. And I was like, I'm in California. I don't care when I go back to PWG. You can come see me at these events. And then a fan replied, all this information literally means nothing, but then a fan replied saying, "You're not even good enough to be back to PWG." So then I quote tweeted, "Is that your professional opinion?" And so that all that means nothing. None of that bothered me or affected me. I love messing with fans and fans that think they can upset me. But I quote tweeted this fan. Whoever this fan was, I genuinely have no idea. Then another fan responded, "Ethan Page, do you think it's a good idea to be responding to Nazis?"
Oh, yeah. It was the Lucha
Did you see that
guy? Yeah.
So, you know who he is?
I know who he is because, well, if it was him, like if it's actually him, that's the other problem with Twitter is you don't know if anybody is who they're saying they are. But yeah, I'm a little bit aware.
So I don't know any of this stuff because, no offense, I have a life and I wrestle and I don't pay attention to any of this stuff because when I'm done wrestling, I go home to my wife and I have hobbies, interests, personal life. So I can't keep track of what fans are Nazis or anything. It's just someone that tweeted at me with a comment. I'm not going to go to his profile and Google search him. Let's see if anyone wrote any hateful articles about him.
Right.
So I was like, I think I responded to the fan saying like, I don't know who he is. And why are we making this a thing? Like, why is me responding to a stranger now my fault?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not your fault, nor did you do anything wrong. I mean, if anything, you were, joking about him coming across kind of like an idiot.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I do. That's all. I am Mr. Sarcastic. So it's like, I could not believe that a fan took just a little quick-witted back and forth with a Z-list celebrity and a random stranger wrestling fan who I don't even know and tried to make it like why would Ethan Page entertain a Nazi? And I was like, is this what the world has come to? Like grabbing at straws to create some sort of entertainment for yourself in a negative way?
Yeah. Pretty much, as sad as that is. I mean, I don't know if people were actually trying to make a thing of it so much as just pointing out, that this dude is, if it is actually him. I mean, basically, they're PWG fans that had a podcast and they were selling some stuff on Pro Wrestling Tees that was like white supremacy related. And then PWTs got like tossed into the mix because they were allowing it to be sold and they got rid of them. And it was a whole weird thing, which I only know about from, kind of paying attention at the time to who Flow Slam was responding to. Basically self-protection, but that's kind of a different thing than what you were being expected to do there, I think. But yeah, it's very dumb, and there's a lot of traps that are stupid traps that people are looking for others to fall into.
Yeah, traps, exactly. And it's like, I don't know who the hell these people are. No idea. Literally no clue. They're not my friends. It's just so frustrating because, like, I respect my fans. Like, I treat them nice. Like, I go out of my way to make sure that live experience is good for them. and I try my best to respond to 99, if not 100% of the people that contact me via social media, whether it's liking their tweet or responding to it. So respect the fact that I don't know or give a shit who these people are that are commenting on my thing, and I'm just responding to entertain people that follow me.
Yeah, but more importantly, when you going back to PWG?
Shut up, man. Never.
I think you left out that, if I remember the exchange right, you said something to the effect of, I don't need to go get dropped on my head for $5.
Oh, yeah. I think I said 50, but
Might have been 50.
Yeah. At least it's more honest that way. But yeah, and it's like, if I'm not going to profit from it at this point in my career, who cares? I was there. I did it. I was tag champ for 30 seconds. Yeah.
And I mean, you're doing this as a job, which, taking bookings that make you money is kind of the end goal.
Yeah, and I think it's like, not to knock it, I think it's lost its luster a little bit. No, it's not what it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's become a bit of a weird thing with, it's almost more of a thing to be there than, anything.
Yeah. The fans are more famous than the actual show.
Right. Which is, it's also becoming that, kind of B, C-list celebrity hanger-on, show-up thing, which, I mean, yeah, we talked about the bar wrestling with Macaulay Culkin last week, but that seemed to have a larger point than just the fact that there's, PWG shows have Ron Jeremy falling asleep in the crowd.
Sofia Vergara was front row, and I showed her my ass once. And the guy, what's his name? The guy that's playing Deathstroke.
Oh, man.
Mike Magliano or whatever. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of become the thing now. Which
is totally fine. I mean,
right.
It's whatever.
It doesn't bother me, but it kind of.
I'm just, as a fan, which, I mean, we all still are. If you're in wrestling, you're in it because of that. As a fan, I used to get excited, beyond belief, for the PWG trailer or teaser to drop. That's gone now.
Yeah, I mean, Bowl is still a huge deal.
Yeah, for sure. Same with All-Star Weekend.
Right, those are still very, very big deals, but that's kind of the peaks for the year, and the rest feels a little more flat than it used to.
Why do you think that is? As a fan, I shouldn't even be talking because people are going to think that I'm being biased because they don't book me anymore. So at least from a fan's perspective,
I don't know. I think it's just that there's more options. There's more interesting stuff going on. And the big, kind of indie super matches they don't seem so exclusive to PWG anymore.
So my thing too is, I had a fan, this is going to make me sound like an asshole, which is, I've sounded like one this entire podcast so far. I had a fan tweet yesterday. I had to vanity search it. He did not tweet it at me, saying that I was a 2-star wrestler and he's mad because I'm trying too hard to be a superstar instead of a wrestler, and that I've gotten a lot of buzz this year and it's upsetting him. So I think that whether this is 100% right or 100% wrong, it's just my opinion. I think that having great matches only gets you so far, and I feel as if though there has to be some kind of intangible thing about these performers that gravitates fans to them.
Well,
I'm very polarizing. So like, people hate me, people love me, and I get that. That's why I don't really care or change the way I am to cater to one or the other. But I feel like there's wrestlers on the independents who have a great online presence, as well as decent enough matches to pass by, and great interaction at the merch table. And all three of those creates buzz. One does not create the other.
Well, yeah, I think as huge as the Young Bucks have gotten, like, their in-ring stuff is really, really, really good. And their matches tell really interesting stories and everything like that. But their development of, like, their online personas and their merch game and everything is what took them to being, like, the level they are.
Yeah, it's not their wrestling. They've always been good.
Right. And, I mean, this is going to sound like I'm being really, really mean to Cody, but Cody has not had a match that has excited me in a long time, like, as far as the in-ring stuff. But he's, like, a goddamn megastar now.
Yeah.
Because of, the persona that he's created and acting like he's a superstar. Like, he acted like it before, that was really, established. Obviously, he was coming from WWE. He had that benefit, but it's not like he's making a ton of money for just tearing it down in the ring. So, yeah, I mean, it's everything. It's,
So why I even brought this up was I think that because of this, the formula of this good wrestler versus this good wrestler with no backstory, character, or reason is kind of dead now.
Yeah. I think you look at... I was going to say, the really interesting stuff right now has been, stuff like, what AAW has done with David Starr and Eddie Kingston. Like, that there's, more dramatic storytelling than you get with PWG, where it's like, yeah, you're going to see really good wrestling. You're going to see some really good matches, but I can see that kind of anywhere, but I can get more of a story other places.
Yeah.
Which is what I personally am more interested in.
For sure. And I think that people don't understand how much they're interested in it because they don't even realize that they're being sucked in to the story and being, like, guided along to care about these things. So, like, if you're watching a show and show 1 leads to show 2 leads to show 3, you're going to be more excited for show 3. You can't just have super show 1, 2, and 3. You're going to get bored.
Yeah, and it's also like, I think Meltzer gave the Bola match between Keith Lee and Donovan Dijak. I'm pretty sure he went 5 stars with that. And it's like, it is a tremendous match, much as most of their matches have been tremendous, and it also kind of gains extra hype because of everything they did outside of PWG to make that match a bigger deal in PWG. So, like,
sure,
so I'm saying
I doubt that match was 5 stars.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I say that because how can the hell can The Rock and somebody not have was The Rock and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 5 stars?
No.
And you're gonna tell me I love Dijak, I love Keith Lee. They're both good friends of mine. You're gonna tell me they had a better match than them? Right? That's why star ratings are dumb.
Well, that's the thing. I don't do star ratings, which is, very helpful for my my personal life, I guess.
Sanity?
Yeah, like, I don't have to argue about it or anything. He went 3 stars for Hogan Rock at WrestleMania, by the way. I just looked it up.
and that was 6 stars.
Yeah, and I think it's all, what you're looking at. And, Meltzer loves Pete Aligi. Like, he goes to the shows, he loves it. And, I'm fairly confident that he hasn't seen, them wrestle in Beyond or Evolve or, the other places it happened. But
Which I'm sure they're all great matches. Like, dude, those guys can literally do things that I would never even dream of doing.
yeah, the only one of their matches that I wasn't like, because basically my star rating was like, did I have a really good time with this match? And like, the only time it seemed off was the Evolve show in Chicago, where it just felt like they were trying to do a little too much and it wasn't quite clicking right. That was
Yeah. But
Yeah,
didn't Keith Lee catch Dijak's flip dive or some crazy crap?
I feel like he's done that a few times. I don't remember.
Well, this is what happens when you don't watch wrestling.
There were a lot of Evolve shows in that span that I was trying to keep straight. I didn't have to just worry about myself like somebody. So yeah, that's Pete Aligi.
Yeah, we went off there a little bit.
That's
off the
right.
rails. Off the rails. Sorry if we offended you, wrestling fans.
I'm pretty sure that talking about Pete Aligi is not offensive. All right, so
let's get to questions, man.
Some of these questions. Yeah, I was just pulling them back up because I had closed the questions to go research what Meltzer had given Rock Hogan.
Yeah. So hey, Dijak, Keith Lee, if you're listening, you guys got 5 stars. The Rock versus Hulk Hogan got 3. And for the fan that said that I'm a jabroni and only want to be a superstar, I would rather get 3 stars and be The Rock or Hogan than get 5 and be Keith Lee's beautiful looking ass. And I bet you Keith Lee would want the same.
Yeah, I think that's fairly safe to say. All right, DEO on Twitter. Is bad body odor an issue among wrestlers? If so, how do you address that with another wrestler?
Yes, and 9 times out of 10, I will just tell them that they smell like shit and that they should put deodorant on, or I will not wrestle them.
So it's a common issue.
I don't want to say common, but I will say that I have had to deal with it on more than one occasion.
I will say that.
Well, you have to think, dude. Like any workplace is going to have this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say that in all the shows that I attended for shooting interviews and stuff like that, almost every single person definitely wanted to shower before we filmed anything.
Right. You're also going to events with professionals.
Yeah, that's true. Those were a little higher level than a lot of places.
Yeah, I've had to be like, dude, did you wash your gear? No. Well, you better change it. I don't want to go take some guy to go try and pile drive me. I'm putting my head inside the stinkiest asshole ever.
All right, so is it body odor that's a bigger issue or unwashed gear?
Both. I've had disgusting pit stains, like sweat, smell, gross, even bad breath. Yeah, it's just hygiene. Let's say hygiene.
It doesn't get a lot better out in the seats for whatever it's worth.
I believe it. I believe it.
Who would each of you book Ethan against during Mania Week? Up to 3 ideas each.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good question. You start.
Let's see. I guess we don't have to worry too much about restrictions since this isn't real. So I would say let's get you and Alexander against. I mean, I could just do Young Bucks and have fun there, but I would say you and Alexander against Dickinson and Jaka.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, I'd be way into that.
I'll give you one. Monster Mafia versus the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
God, it's not new, but I feel like Mania Week, I would want a couple guys that could carry selling the event with everything else, with like a good month of social media. So I'd do you and MJF again just because I could rely on
Oh
you
man,
guys.
that's good. And it still hasn't happened because he broke his hand.
Right. Yeah, it's been attempted and everything, but I think that the two of you could help sell the event with just social media stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good one. Okay, so you got two. You need one more. I want to wrestle Ricochet, and we've both wanted to for a long time. So I mean, let me do my swanton Mania weekend with old Ricochet, and let's see if he can try and deadlift me because that would be hilarious.
I'm pretty sure he could.
Yeah, he is fairly strong.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he's done it with Keith Lee, so
he has.
I thought so.
Good God, that's insane.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Didn't that happen at at Evolve 80?
Damn, good for him.
Yeah, so phew. I'm gonna cheat and just say that a surprise rematch with Darby Allin somewhere would be fun.
Okay, I've actually thought about this, and I was like, you know, it'd be cool if someone scooped that up and did maybe like a 2 to 3 show revival feud and a different promotion that maybe we ended up tagging in at the end of it.
Yeah, that would be good. Or yeah, I think for WrestleMania weekend, I like callbacks or big new things. So
Yeah. All right, so you got Darby, you got MJF, and then you got Jocka and Dixon versus Monster Mafia. I've got Monster Mafia versus Lucha Bros, Ethan Page versus Ricochet, and I got one more. Damn it. What am I going to do? I'm going to say if there was enough build, I would love to do something with Eddie Kingston again because there was, oh man, or Sammy Callahan. I don't know. I got good chemistry with both of them. If I was, but like, I'm trying to think of what would look best on like a marquee, like a match graphic. Oh, this is tough. I think me versus Janela would do good.
yeah, I'm sure it would.
I'll do that. I'll do me and Janela.
Like you and Janela anywhere, or you and Janela at like spring break.
I don't think I would do spring break. I don't want to tie him up. I'm saying maybe at CZW.
Right on.
After like a show or two to build to that. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Mania weekend, what is your ideal booking schedule for something like that?
Not going.
That's your ideal schedule, is not going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate Mania weekend. I hate it so much.
All right, why? You gotta get into it.
Just so many spoiled, annoying, entitled assholes that all show up together at the same time. And I don't know if that's just been my experience because I did the last 3 Evolve Mania weekends, or if it's like that everywhere.
Oh, it's like that everywhere. But you're talking fans or workers or both?
Fans.
Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed.
Yeah. And like because I've had like bad experiences in a sense that like last year I was wrestling Austin Theory. Austin Theory has been wrestling for a year, maybe at that point. We did some kind of whatever in the match, and he landed weird on his leg, and it wasn't supposed to happen. So we keep wrestling, and he's now in control, and he hits me with some move, maybe taunts or starts walking, whatever. And a fan, as soon as the crowd noise dies down, the fan yells from his chair, "Sell your leg, you shithead!"
Jesus.
And I'm just like, I should go beat the shit out of that guy. What gives him the right or like light bulb that goes off to tell him like, hey, look, this is a good idea?
Yeah, also, there's a weird thing about, like, okay, so psychology, selling, whatever, but we also live in a world where you see enough actual fights through, like, MMA, where, like, every single time that something happens to someone, to a body part, if it's just once, it doesn't necessarily have to have a lasting impact.
I'm mad at you for even trying to explain it.
Yeah,
because like it's that fan should be yelling that. One, because that takes everyone, especially the people in the ring and out, like people watching. It removes the glimmer and the sparkle and the magic.
Well, yeah, it's what we talked about with the AAW show a couple of weeks ago, where, you know, you were forced into an interaction with a drunk asshole, and it just kind of derailed everything.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I feel bad for Theory because, like you said, he'd been wrestling for such a short time, and I'm sure he hears that and probably is thinking, like, well, should I?
Right,
Like,
yeah, exactly. It screws your game up. It knocks you off balance. It's not something you should have to. And I mean, whatever, like, it's our job. It's our job to deal with that. It's our job to interact and react and whatever. But, I mean, I because it's my job and the job that I have, I can decide whether I want to go wrestle in front of a bunch of assholes or stay home.
which you're going to go wrestle in front of a bunch of assholes.
I mean, I don't have anything yet. I've done well enough to avoid it, but never say never, I guess.
It just seems like it's so much money. Like, the ability.
It's not.
It's okay. I just assumed you'd walk away from the end of a weekend if you booked yourself like, kind of some of the ridiculous workloads some people take on, that you're walking away from that weekend feeling pretty good.
Yeah. This is also the first WrestleMania weekend that I've not been tied down to Gabe.
Right.
Where last weekend we were told we were only allowed to do WWN events.
Huh.
So this year it might be a little different. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll seek it out.
You know, the other topic I meant to bring up when I realized we didn't have a lot to talk about as far as your last weekend was, how do you think this Young Bucks Cody 10,000 seat thing is going to play out?
I think they'll do good.
Yeah, I think they'll do really well. I just I'm curious. It sounds like it's going to be Chicago, so.
Oh, really?
I mean, that's what I've been seeing, which I think is a smart choice. But and I'm wondering what WWE is going to do to counteract that. So
10,000. Like, that's pretty wild.
yeah, I at least like the balls it takes to take your shot there.
Yeah, agreed. You have to think that these are like, this is not a company doing this.
Yeah, which makes it more interesting, I think. It is time for the Wade Buswell question corner.
Sure.
Favorite thing you gave someone this year, favorite thing you received?
Favorite thing I received would be the headphones. Favorite thing I gave, either I would say the iPad to my wife.
Nice. Yeah, favorite thing I gave was probably the little specialty pregnancy pillow to the fiance because she has not been able to sleep well and she's been sleeping great since. So,
Look at that.
So that's a score. And received is probably the same, the headphones. Can we get a Super Cup Justice versus Kikutaro-san match?
Possibly. No promises.
What's worse, early morning traveling to a show or going home after a show?
Going home after a show, always worse. Like, way worse.
Yeah,
you're exerted, your excitement is dead, there's no anticipation of showing up, and it's always in the middle of the night, dead-ass middle of the night. Yeah, it sucks. The home always sucks.
and I'll agree, even though I'm, not working them, but even just driving there and back always sucks.
Yeah, for sure. Like you on the way there, you're excited for what you're about to see. On the way home, you already saw it.
Right. Any legends you would like to work with?
Oh man, all of them. It would be really cool. Oh man, that's tough. Because I'm trying to think of who's on the indies right now. And make this somewhat realistic.
Well,
or I would just automatically pick The Rock.
Yeah, I was going to say you also have the, you've talked about it before, that you really want the D-Lo Nation.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, D-Lo is definitely a legend. I would love to work with D-Lo Brown. Like, love it.
Let's see. Brent, favorite moment in wrestling as a kid? I mean, as a kid, it's Hogan body slamming Andre, like, because that was when I was a kid. Yeah, there's a lot, but turn it to you too, even though they asked me.
As a kid, probably the "This Is Your Life" segment with The Rock and Mankind.
If you could manage or have manage you, who would you want to work with? So if you could manage or have a manager.
If I could manage someone right now, it would be MJF. Because he'll do all the bumps and I'll just talk. It'll be awesome. If I could have a manager, it would be Stokely Hathaway.
Oh, absolutely. That should be everybody's answer.
Yeah.
Movies that make you say OMG in a good way. Or what does
movies?
Yeah. Oh, moves. Jeez.
Oh, moves.
Okay. What are moves that make you say OMG in a good way? I guess is the question here. It's phrased a little weird.
The spinning around the world rack powerbomb. I always love seeing that. The last ride, which is why I started doing it. And a beautiful shooting star press.
Yeah, I was going to say shooting star and a really good lariat.
Oh, yeah, a really good lariat for sure.
Best entrance song on the Indies?
Joey Janela. If I'm not picking my own.
Yeah, that's tough. Would you rather take a DVD or a power bomb?
DVD.
Backbreaker or neckbreaker?
Backbreaker.
All right. Any reasons why on this?
Yeah, they're a lot safer.
All right. Wade says that Megan wants to know if you can get Gringo Loco versus Kobe Durst or a little more lucha style matches. I assume an A1.
Yeah, possibly. We're trying to branch out with more talent, as everyone has noticed lately. We haven't announced everything for the January show yet, so stay tuned. There's a bunch of cool things we have to announce still.
Strongest guy in wrestling.
Keith Lee, possibly. Brian Cage, possibly.
Jeff Cobb's got to be up there.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's who I had on my mind. Cobb, and yeah, I would say those three.
Seems like a unsurprising trio.
Yeah.
Who chops harder, Josh Alexander or Eddie Kingston?
I don't know. Because Eddie Kingston throws his chops with his forearms like an asshole. And Josh just hits you really effing hard. I think they both suck equally in their own way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Jason Worthing says, I'd love to hear Ethan's thoughts on facing Simon Grimm at next month's What Show in Rhode Island.
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm actually very pumped for this new promotion called What to start. I think it's the lineup they have right now is incredible. And I know it's in that venue, Fett Music Hall. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Beyond used to run there.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know how they snagged it or figured out how to take it or do it or whatever, but I'm pumped to wrestle in that venue. I'm pumped to wrestle in that area, and I'm pumped for this new promotion. I've got a couple shows lined up for them, so I'm super pumped. And I've wrestled Simon Grimm at Wrestling Revolver in the Catalina Wrestle Mixer, and I lost. So I'm excited to do it again, especially about 20 pounds lighter, and redeem myself to him as a professional, but mostly the loss.
Limitless Wrestling sent in a question.
Did they really?
Yeah, they would like to know, who are your top 5 homies?
Oh no, that is my top 5 homies are Stokely Hathaway. Stokely Hathaway is in my top 5 homies, as well as Fred Yehai. Man, I don't want to answer this. Next question.
Fair enough. Mikey from Black Label Pro.
Oh, damn. What are all these promoters that book me asking me questions?
This one's a little easier. What's your favorite 90s sitcom?
Oh, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay. Should be Seinfeld, but that's all right.
That would be my number 2.
All right, I'm scrolling through a lot.
There's no heartwarming moments in Seinfeld. Fair enough. I would actually go Roseanne, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, then Seinfeld.
All right. Mike Alcutt, the wonderful, wonderful graphic designer who can't do our graphics anymore, but I won't talk about his career developments, but very good stuff for Mike. He would like to know, what's the biggest roadblock you've experienced as a booker?
Oh, availability, probably. I would definitely say availability and injury.
Fair enough. Biggest difference between Ethan Page the booker and Ethan Page the wrestler?
I was going to say one is selfish and the other isn't, but I'm not really selfish in the ring either, so I honestly, mostly the same. I'm just trying to tell stories and get from point A to point B the best way possible.
I thought it was just going to be that the booker cares about the rest of the card.
Oh, as a wrestler, I care about the rest of the card too. I'm like very big on that. Here's a story. I actually got in trouble by Tier 1 Wrestling. They had an pay-per-view before Evolve, and I was booked on it. And every MFer on the show went way over time. And Gabe and Sal were threatening the promoter, like, hey, dude, your main event is not going to have enough time. We're cutting this thing at whatever the time, like 4 o'clock. If you're not done by 4, whatever. So I told the guy, I go, yo, man, I'll cut time. And he's like, oh, just do what you can. So we went out, we had our match, we cut stuff out of our match, we made sure the main event, which is the draw of your show, supposedly, had enough time to do everything. Then we get to the back, and he goes, man, you guys went short, what the hell? And I was like, dude, you're going to get the pay-per-view's going to get cut off in the middle of the main event. Like, I'm trying to help you. I could have went 20 minutes. We could have been the main event. I don't care. Like, about you personally, it's a business. So I treated it like that, and I took it serious, and I got in trouble. So, me.
That show was a nightmare. There were
you were there, yeah.
There were all kinds of streaming issues, and like the feed kept dying, and I think it was just the building that it was being held in was the issue. But of course, then online, it's look what FlowSlam did again, which was great. But yeah. I'm not going to talk anymore about them. What wrestler has taught you the most from an in-ring perspective?
This is another where does Ethan Page want to be honest moment. Michael Elgin.
Yeah, I think that's fair, regardless of whatever the stuff going on. Like, that doesn't change who you've learned in-ring from.
Right, yeah. That's the only thing I've taken from him, guys. Don't worry. This is the in-ring.
All right. Let's see. We got one question left, and it is: did you finally see Coco?
No, I didn't.
Neither have I, which is a bigger issue in my household than yours, I promise.
Why?
Because I have an almost 5-year-old girl.
Yeah, my wife acts like that, and she loves Disney movies. We are a Disney house. So the issue that I haven't seen the movie isn't because we haven't tried or wanted to. It's because the movie has already been pushed into daytime plays only. So, like, after 3 p.m., it's not playing anywhere.
Yeah, if only you had had a week off.
Oh, don't get me started.
And the follow-up to that was your top 5 movies of 2017.
Oh, that's tough. Like, that we'd have to prepare for.
Let's prepare for that for next week, because it'll be the first episode of 2018, and people can send in their top 5 movies of 2017, and we can discuss it next week.
I love that.
And it works perfectly because we're at 58 minutes.
Look at that! We're professionals!
So get your plugs in.
Yeah, so this weekend, I'm headed to Cleveland, Ohio, Friday, which is tomorrow, to wrestle for AIW against Dominic Guarini. I'm very excited for that. Then Saturday, I am headed out to Binghamton, New York, where I'll be wrestling for Excite Wrestling against Greg Excellence, and I'm very excited about that. And then New Year's, and we head into 2018. I would like to plug, I have a new video on my YouTube page, which is a beautiful kind of teaser leading into 2018 about some very exciting things happening in my career. And it's very Christmassy, so watch that before you get out of the Christmas spirit. And ProWrestlingTees.com/Ethan Page, Twitter @OfficialEgo. Follow along.
And I also feel like there's somewhere I could watch Alpha One Wrestling.
Then there is. It's on Powerbomb.tv, and they just uploaded some new events yesterday. So check that out and head to Powerbomb.tv. Use promo code Alpha1, the number 1, not the letter 1, all capitals, Alpha1, no space, just Alpha1, and you get 20 days for free. You're welcome. Enjoy some awesome wrestling. There's Beyond Wrestling on there. AIW wrestling on there, as well as IWA Mid-South, some CZW classics, a bunch of stuff. So check that out.
All right, so at Official Ego on Twitter, at Brent Brookhouse on Twitter. Get your top 5 movies of 2017 in for next week, and have yourself a very, very happy and safe New Year's. Ethan, I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, you have a good New Year's, man.